The St Pancras Renaissance Hotel is possibly the most iconic hotel in London, and its history began back in the 1860s. Rail travel had become a booming industry and people were streaming into London. The Midland Railway Service decided that it needed to create its own station to support this influx, and along with it they built this grand hotel. The Midland Grand was designed by architect Sir George Gilbert Scott. He basically got very, very carried away when he was designing this, but his ambition actually paid off and they authorised this project to go ahead with only a few small changes. Scott had taken inspiration for this hotel from his travels around Europe and designed it in a Venetian Gothic style, which he believed would fit in well with the Houses of Parliament and other buildings at that time in London. The total project cost £437,335, which is around 500 million in today's terms. To complete the building, it used 60 million bricks and 9,000 tonnes of ironwork, including polished columns of 14 different British granites and limestones. The Midland Grand very quickly established an excellent reputation as an upmarket 300-room hotel. It charged 14 shillings, which is the equivalent of 70 pence, for a night in 1879. I have a feeling it's a lot more than that now. Today, the lounge area has a very open plan warehouse style vibe to it, but it's still very opulent and classy feeling. It's a really great place to come and grab a coffee, and I think it's a fantastic place to organise small creative business meetings, not only because of the venue, but it's so easy for people to get to as well. King's Cross is always that place that everyone can get to relatively easily. Over the road, you can see this amazing red pill-shaped lift, which actually takes you up to the 10th floor of the Standard Hotel to a restaurant called Decimo, which is a Mexican-themed restaurant, and you get views all across London. So this is the bright pink metallic McLaren that has its own little mystery behind it. So it's been parked here for a long time and there's various accounts on why. Someone said they actually work at the St Pancras Renaissance Hotel, and this car is actually owned by one of the guests who moved in permanently to the hotel at the start of the COVID pandemic. And he's been having trouble getting back to his country and it's still there now. Certainly most of the answers to this mystery suggest that this car is indeed owned by a permanent resident in this hotel, and because the owner likes the look of it, he lets it stay. If anybody knows of a different theory around this car, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to read it. I absolutely love this statue by the hotel. It's called the Meeting Place and it's 9 meters high, bronze sculpture. It was designed by the British artist Paul Day and was unveiled in 2007. Its intention is to evoke the romance of travel through the depiction of this couple locked together in an amorous embrace. It's reported to have cost £1 million to make this sculpture. Here you can see the absolutely stunning staircase. It is blocked off to non-residents, but it's been the home of many iconic photo shoots over the years. Now, the inside of the hotel is just as opulent and beautiful as the outside. Absolutely love this bar with the palm trees, and it just has such a luxurious vibe about it. This is actually Europe's longest champagne bar, or at least it was. I'm not sure if it still maintains that status. So how did the Midland Grand become the Renaissance Hotel? So it was doing well until after the First World War, when unfortunately the hotel trade in general just went into serious decline. And the upkeep and expense of this hotel, as you can imagine, was astronomical. Miraculously, the building survived the bombing raids of the Second World War, but it still found itself threatened with complete demolition in the 1960s, which would have been absolutely tragic. Thankfully, the building was saved from being swept away and was awarded a Grade 1 listed status in recognition of its importance as a high Victorian Gothic example of architecture. It ran into trouble again in the 1980s when it failed its fire certificate and it was closed down, remaining empty for many years. However, in the mid-90s, British Rail and English Heritage paid £10 million to bring the exterior of this building back to its original condition. They also made it structurally sound and weatherproof at a cost of £10 million. In 2004, permission was granted to redevelop it as a hotel yet again, and this was to be called the St Pancras Renaissance Hotel. And it opened on the 14th of March 2011, which was exactly 138 years after its original opening in 1873.